Hey Minecrafters, in today's Let's Play episode, this is going to be mostly a review of everything that's been going on. I've been pretty busy in my dw20 playthrough, so rather than doing a new project, I'm just going to go over a lot of stuff that's happened in the last 24 hours. I've been having lots and lots of problems with power, so I continue to work out. I got multiple different dynamos, and then I'd run some of them with gunpowder in order to try and figure out why. I think on server restart, the Mine Factory reloaded machines actually don't reconnect properly. So I've connected this leadstone energy cell immediately next to the harvester, and I'm waiting for the next server restart to see, which will be on the next episode, to see whether or not this continues to work correctly. If you're ever having trouble with your Mine Factory reloaded machines, occasionally just not working, I'll let you know if this works. My theory is that the thermal expansion power line is supposed to auto-convert to Buildcraft Minecraft joules. And my theory is that on server restart it doesn't reconfigure itself correctly. Although it's hard to say for sure. I've tried relaying lines, I've also tried relaying the machine, and sometimes the machine just starts working again. So there's definitely some sort of a configuration issue on server restart. And I don't know if that's going to work. I guess we'll find out. You probably also noticed that I'm running around really fast. So one of the things that I've done since I last played is I've been playing around with the modular power suits, and I've got these leggings on which allow me to run super fast. This is using a power armor tinker table, and if you just make the different pieces, you have this menu of different things that you can do. I just started really simple. I'm using a basic battery with just very simple settings, as well as sprint assist, which is set for maximum compensation walking assist. Compensation is basically affects your hunger meter as you run. Power affects how fast you can run when you're sprinting, and walking assist affects how fast you run when you're walking. And you can set these to be different amounts, and it just uses more power. So for example, if I crank the power all the way up to the maximum, and then I try running, then I zoom really fast. So that's one of the things that I've been doing, and that's why I'm zooming around really fast. I'll turn the speed down a little bit for the purposes of this Let's Play. So what else have I been up to? Well, I also was exploring a dungeon, and I found a portal gun. If you haven't seen this before, it's pretty cool. It's exactly what you'd expect. They're pretty expensive to make, but you can get them as dungeon rewards. I'd actually favor removing the ability to craft them, or at least making the components ridiculously expensive, although in a lot of ways they are, because I really love it as a dungeon reward. You can, you know, just like Portal, shoot the portal in one place and show up somewhere else. Another thing that I've been doing since last play session is I made a Billind order. Billind gives you these little toy bricks, which you might recognize. I think it's funny because a lot of people consider Minecraft to just be digital Legos already, and then now we have digital Legos in a digital Lego game. But you can basically right-click to place a blocks and shift to change the orientation, and you can make different configurations with that. So pretty cool, pretty cool. You get a Billind order form and pay a bunch of emeralds. A Billind order form is from the Billind mod. I found these order forms in, again, dungeons. And when you open it up, you can order different packs, and it just charges you a bunch of emeralds. So on to some of the more interesting things that I've been doing. I created a chicken farm. This actually took a few iterations to get right. I was trying to get a bunch of chickens who would just lay some eggs. It gets sucked into this vacuum hopper. The vacuum hopper is feeding down a hopper into a dispenser with a redstone clock. The redstone clock emits a signal every half second. I've got a sound muffler because the sound is just annoying. And then the dispenser shoots the eggs into this chamber down below, and hatches them into little baby chicks, who, as soon as they grow into adults, get munched up by this grinder, and the grinder spits out the contents, which obviously that's looking pretty full, but more importantly I'm looking for the mob juice, and the mob juice, mob essence, fills in this tank because I now have my auto spawner chamber. So for this auto spawner chamber, it's currently auto spawning Enderman. It's using dark glass. Dark glass is really cool. Dark glass is a transparent block you can see through, but for all practical intents and purposes, it's opaque as far as monster line of sight and such is considered. So you can see through it, and I love using dark glass for mob spawn chambers because it lets me watch what's going on and cackle in delight. My mob spawn chamber is exactly 5 by 5 by 5 large. I'll show you why. It's because I want to be able to spawn ghasts. So I have a chest down here with different monsters trapped in it. I don't have a huge collection yet, but if I don't want to spawn Endermen and I instead want to spawn ghasts, I don't think I have enough mob juice yet, so we might have to come back. But a ghast requires a 5 by 5 by 5 chamber. I've got platforms that are recessed with conveyor belts, so that if other monsters like Endermen are spawned and then they get pushed forward to the grinder has no problem reaching ghasts at all. So I can basically grind up all sorts of different monsters using this setup. But right now I am trying to get Endermen, so I'm going to go ahead and put this back. But trust me, the ghast does work. I used to have the ghast in there earlier on. This is the output chest from the grinder. You can see I just have ender pearls, gunpowder, and ghast tears for days. The ghast tears have been really useful because, as it turns out, reactant dynamos can take ghast tears as well, and blaze powder. The ghast tears produce 1.6 million RF each. So just a couple of ghast tears can keep a dynamo running for a very long time. I've transitioned over to hardened energy circuits. This is in my attempt to try and debug what is going on with my power. So we'll throw these ender pearls and ghast tears into my AE system. I have a backup chest here since it's so frustrating when I run out of power. So I have some backup gunpowder and blaze powder so that if my AE network ever goes down, I can always fire it up. I also charged up a hardened energy cell and tuck that away for safekeeping, so if I ever have trouble I can always pull that out to get my AE system booted up again. So next I've just been expanding out the base. As I've stated before, the whole goal of this base is to be fairly large and to have each room dedicated to a different purpose. The courtyard over here, the garden courtyard is coming along pretty well. Not quite done with that, but I have started with some bees, there's some ender lilies, and some pneumatic craft plants over there. This is my pneumatic craft setup. It's obviously still in the works. This is a pretty cool mod. It uses air pressure. I have my interface chamber here. For those who haven't played with it before, you basically put, here I'll show you. You put some coal into this air compressor and it starts to increase, it creates compressed air, which it feeds through these pressure tubes throughout the whole system. And here my pressure chamber is how you actually do your crafting. It's sort of the equivalent of an induction furnace, if you're familiar with that, or basically any kind of like cooking apparatus. And so you put items into the pressure chamber and things get compressed. You can, here's a list of recipes. You can click on this, so you can see you can get like 8 blocks of coal could form a diamond. And iron makes compressed iron, which is used for all of the pneumatic craft recipes. And basically there's a variety of things that you can do with pneumatic craft and the air pressure. Over here, I've been extending out the platform. I've made 2 new rooms for different mods. I think this is the one I'm going to put my my modular power suits into. Now, modular power suits technically only needs one block. It's just the work table. But I think I'm going to try and like decorate this out, maybe put some suits of armor around the outside, make it like themed, like a modular power suit room, so that when I want to do modular power suit stuff, I just come here. It's very appropriate. That should feel pretty good. And then this one I think might be my industrial craft 2 area. It's kind of remote from like my power generation and everything else going on, and that's okay with me because I think what I'm going to do is my industrial craft 2 area is going to run off of solar power. My existing IC2 setup is running off of a single solar panel right now connected to a bat box. I did that so that my daughter would have power to charge up her jetpack. So I basically have a solar panel feeding into a bat box, and there's a generator here for backup, but really I just wanted to do an extractor so that I could make better use of my rubber trees. For those who don't know, when you cut down a Mine Factory Reloaded rubber tree, you get a bunch of rubber and wood back, rubber wood, and the rubber wood can be extracted into rubber, which is really handy. And then I have a recycler here where I'm just throwing a bunch of extra stuff to try and develop some scrap, because I know that the scrap will be useful in the future, but I haven't really done too much with it. So if Industrial Craft 2 machines are running off of their own power grid, then if they're running off of their own power grid, I'm actually on this side. Okay, here we go. If they're running on their own power grid because of the solar power, then I don't really need them to have their own room. Hey, buddy. And then the last thing that I did for myself is I have set up a ender pouch. Ender pouches, for those who don't know, well, let me go over ender chests first. So this is pretty standard. I've seen a lot of people do this, but I guess it's worth showing in case you haven't. Ender chests are chests that are accessible from all over the world as having the exact same inventory as long as their color is keyed correctly. And then their pouch is a pouch that you carry around with you that accesses that same ender chest. And what I'm doing is I'm using an ender chest here, which is pumping into a diamond chest. And when I'm out mining, and I'll show you what this looks like. So let's say that I go off on a mining trip. So like I said, let's say that you're out in the world mining, and your inventory starts to fill up, as it usually does. Then you open up your ender pouch and throw everything into the ender pouch, which transports it back to my base at home. And then there's it automatically gets piped into that diamond chest. And later on, what I'm actually going to do, obviously, I'm not going to pipe it into a diamond chest. I'm going to pipe everything into a sorting system to be processed. So ores or miscellaneous or cobblestone, everything will go to a correct place. You can see this is the ender chest, and everything's been piped into this diamond chest along the top row. And I'll be able to take care of all this later. So let's take, I'm going to show you what I'm doing with these oreberry bushes. I've got myself a little oreberry farm back here. So I can plant these, and I'm running out of space. I think one of my projects pretty soon is going to be to make a huge oreberry room. But what I've basically got, this one's not going to get harvested because it's behind. But I have a harvester facing a whole set of oreberry bushes, and it's just sitting there pulling out the oreberries, dumping them into this chest. And of course I'm going to automate this as well. This is going to be a project for the future, where it just grabs all of these different oreberries, and I can go ahead and process those. This is kind of interesting. You know what I really like about the oreberries right now, for the way that I'm using it, is because I've turned off, not turned off, but disallowed myself from using quarries for this Let's Playthrough. I still need to do, I need a lot of resources. Now you could argue that instead of automating quarries, I'm just automating oreberry bushes, but oreberry bushes are only found in the world, and so the more I explore, the more I get out there, see the world, and explore and do cool stuff, the more oreberry bushes I find, and the farther along, and the more efficient my automated metal production will be. So I think that's a nice loop. Quarries allow you to fully automate all of that without actually putting in any exploration time. You can just set a quarry on the surface without ever really going that deep into the ground once you've got in your 8 diamonds or so, and then never see the inside of a dungeon ever again. Alright, and finally I'm going to do a tour of dw20's base. He is sort of interesting in that he plays a very minimalist style. He's not making a base that's going to win any beauty awards. Instead, he's been focused on progressing extremely fast. He's gone very far in just I don't know, probably about 30 hours of play. I don't know how many hours he's played, but he basically made his little hole in the ground, and then you just come straight down, and as you're coming down, you can see that he's just been up to different things. He's been in the Twilight Forest, and the Nether. It's just very minimalist. You can see all his Tinker's construct tables are here, and as you continue down, there's a smeltery with the lava. It's an ender tank. So he basically just incorporated all of the buildings that he uses into his mining shaft staircase. It's pretty out there how you just come down, and he just mines this out. This is his spawner for his 5x5 chamber. And then over here is all the AE network and thermal expansion machines. Over here, he's got ender generators, so he basically uses ender generators from extra utilities combined with enderman spawning to get all the ender pearls that he needs to power his base. His setup for getting mob essence is pretty clever. He's got essence berry bushes being harvested by a harvester, and the harvester feeds into an autonomous activator, which underneath here shoots the berries into the top of a sewer, so it turns into these XP bubbles, which then turn into mob juice. So here we've got just a ton of liquid XP over here, and as we continue down, here we have his Thaumcraft floor, which is just out of control. This is insane. Looks fantastic. His underground base, lots of Essentia on hand, and other Thaumcraft reagents and Infusion Altar crafting, and his alembics over here. So he's just been going absolutely nuts with this. Got to have the Crucible for that early stuff. Dude, it looks really good, DFI. This looks pretty fantastic. I haven't seen these inverted sky blocks before. That is a very, very cool block. I had no idea that that existed. You're using them very, very effectively. I like it. And then, of course, you come all the way down to the bottom into his mining shaft. Of course, now he's just using ender quarries in the deep dark to actually do all of his mining. So anyway, that is DFI Trauma's base. Very cool. Just want to show you what one of the other people on my server is doing. People come by from Twitch. People come by from YouTube. They just say, "Hey, Candleson, what's up? I like PvE Minecraft. I like building. I love playing. Why don't I join you?" And so, but a lot of different people have been moving in and doing all sorts of cool things. So what I'm going to do during my Let's Play series, I'm also going to try and spotlight what different people have been up to in addition to myself. So for now, this is Candleson, and I guess DFI Trauma. Happy Minecrafting.